welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about language learning because it has truly been, I don't even know how long since I've talked about language learning, and you guys are probably thinking, for those that have subscribed to me for languages or my language learning journey, like, where have you been? Are you still learning, Spanish? Are you still interested in Arabic? Are you still, like, what are you doing with your languages? And honestly, I'm still learning, however, maybe not actively learning. But I'm still learning or trying to learn my targeted languages. And right now, important language that I'm learning right now, because there's two, but the one that it would benefit me more to learn is Spanish, and so I'm working on it. So, okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this video. Let's talk about what is, like, stopping me from, like, really taking off and really just, like, grasping this language. And one of the problems is that I have so many resources that it was overwhelming, and I went a little crazy and got, like, I have books, I have DVDs, I've done lessons. I've subscribed to different YouTube channels. I've joined different courses and subscription apps and paid for pro apps, and I've done so much stuff with language learning apps and resources that it got to a point where I was just, like, really overwhelmed. And so and then of course I've had other ventures as well, and I'm starting to think I might I might be an adult that struggles with staying focused on one thing, that I feel like I have to always have my hands in a little bit of everything, which that sucks. And so, but I can't help it, but I'm trying. And so, anyway, so I want to talk about, like, me just, like, this part of language learning where in the beginning where, like, you're just so, like, into it and you're learning and you're picking up vocab, you're trying out phrases or saying phrases and maybe even socializing a little bit, and um and then all of a sudden, like, you get to this point where everything is just, like, too much. Like, it's, you don't know which app or book to go to. You don't know where to start, or you might have had a hiatus and then you got to pick back up, and it's like, okay, where do I pick back up? I don't know. I'm lost. And yes, that's me. I'm lost right now. So, and I also told myself that I wasn't going to purchase any more language learning apps, and yeah, or courses or anything like that. And yeah, so this is what I've done recently. So the most recent purchase that I've done is a subscription to Pimsleur's All Access languages. And the reason why I did that was because I remember about 4 years ago, I had just got my dog. So maybe it was like 3 years ago. I just got my dog. She was a puppy, and I was taking her out around the clock, and I was borrowing the Pimsleur program from the library. Like, I had it on my library's app. Hey. So I had to take a little moment to say, to thank you all for watching this video and for watching it this far along. And I really appreciate all of you, all of my viewers that watch all of my videos. But if you can relate to this video, I would really appreciate if you hit that like button and the subscribe button. That lets me know that you like this content and to keep it coming. I would walk her, and then I would listen to the audio while I was walking her. Of course, it's like, at the time it was like 6 a.m. in the morning, so, like, nobody was out. And so I was able to, mumble things or whatever, just listen. I really, like, it was really therapeutic for me, but then also it gave me that chance to work on my recall and kind of, say things out loud. And so it was helpful for me at that time. So I did that. I really liked it. I was really building on it and everything else. So, that's why I picked up Pimsleur. When they offered the all access of languages, I was like, well, this will be good because I also want to learn other languages eventually. And But so I decided, you know what, for as much as it costs per month, like I will definitely use it. I will definitely make sure that I use this resource. And yeah. So then also there was another course that I purchased. I purchased let's see, it was called it was Ollie Richards' course, intermediate course called Grammar Hero. And I got that because I was also struggling with like my past tense and being able to like jump back and forth between past tense and present tense and all that. So um I got that, and I so far I've made it through like the first story, and it's like really, I don't know, it's time consuming, but the way that it's structured, like it's supposed to, like, you read the story for the first time, there's an audio component to it, and there's like you can see like the different past tense and all that stuff, and then there's another lesson where there's like a person explaining, or no, they write it out and kind of like in a Google Doc and leave comments of like, okay, this tense is used here because it's XYZ or whatever. And I don't know, I just found it like hard to find the time to take my computer and sit down, and then I try to put it on my laptop or my iPad. I don't know, it was just, it's kind of hard to do because with that you have to listen. um you don't have to, I guess, but it's helpful to listen. So that was hard. And what else? There was another course that I purchased. That course was it was called it took so long. It's called the guy, his name, he goes by That Spanish Dude. So he has a course, and at one point he had a sale going on, or like some type of like promo going on, to where if you like, he had his courses available and you had to just basically name your price. And I think it was during like Black Friday. And so I didn't really pay that much for it, but it's also another course that I haven't completed. And yeah, so, and then I had Spanish lessons on italki, which more for like conversation and working on the things that I struggle with. And I think I had, out of the bundle that I bought, I had like one lesson left, and that I didn't utilize. And yeah, I don't know, I think at that point I probably just became overwhelmed, and it was just a lot going on. So I have all of this, and not to mention that, I think, what was it, last year before last, I purchased the Rosetta Stone, all, languages. That one was an outright purchase, so I purchased that. So it was just like I've had so many apps, I've had so many courses that I've invested in. So now it's time to like reap the freaking benefits because it's just too much. So anyway, so I invested in Pimsleur's All Access, and it's great when you have the time to do it, or focus or interest. And most times when I do it, I'll do it like when I'm in the car, or while the kids are at school. Sometimes I'll listen to it while I'm like in my craft room doing whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And because for me, like, I need conversation practice. Like, I need to practice, and I have used a little bit of conversation. Like, I've spoken a little bit to other Spanish speaking people, but like, I'm so like, my confidence is so low. So like, for me, when I listen to Pimsleur, I have to be able to speak out loud, and it would be kind of weird to speak out loud when you're walking around, or you're outside, or you're at the grocery store or whatever. So it's not, I don't feel like it's one of those apps that I can just listen to and just okay, and keep going and push through the lessons or whatever. And then, so my other app, so that's the only app that I'm really using kind of infrequently, even though I'm paying the monthly cost for it. I'm still like using it kind of infrequently. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent, but like I said, it's all about having the focus, because when you get in the car and you want to listen to music, you don't really want to listen to Pimsleur. But then, or you want to like jump on the phone, but you don't want to, listen to Pimsleur. Then it's like, oh my gosh, like, it's like a battle there. So anyway, So, but my other apps, like I'm not using them as much either. Like I downgraded my Duolingo. I still have the Spanish language transfer, which is a good one to listen to. But I don't use it anymore. I don't use it as much anymore. Yeah, I don't, all my other apps I don't really use that much anymore. So, am I still interested in learning this language? Of Spanish or any other language there is. Yes, I'm still very much interested in learning Spanish. The language barrier down here is more prevalent than it was in Ohio. For instance, like we're building our house right now, and like the workers that are working on it, pretty much all of them are Spanish speaking. And I mean, we don't really talk to them a lot or at all. We're not really there at the same time. But there are times like yesterday where we stopped by, I think it was Sunday, that we stopped by. No, it was Saturday. It was Saturday that we stopped by, and we thought they didn't work on Saturdays. And so we went to just kind of peek and look around and all that stuff. And the door opened and they were there. And so we were trying to, like, we asked if it was okay if we went in. And so we kind of like made motions or gestures. And my husband's looking at me like, well, you're the one that knows Spanish. Like, help us out here. And I'm like, you don't know what to say. I got to think about it in my head and then make sure it's okay here before I spit it out. But um, and then we end up using Google Translate to ask about, like, just like if we can come in and if we could go upstairs or whatever. So, those are things like you just wish you could just talk and just say those things without even thinking twice about. Um, there's, patients that, I take care of that, only speak Spanish. It would be nice to walk into that room and just start speaking, but not even be phased by the fact that they're Spanish speaking only. So yeah, I just want to be able to just, crush that language barrier and be able to just speak. So for a minute there, I was like watching Netflix, and I was binge watching The Blacklist, and I was watching some shows that I've already like seen before. And so I don't know, I think I was on Twitter scrolling and somebody said something about like putting the subtitles or the audio in your targeted language. And I was like, why didn't I think about that before? Like, cause some of the Blacklist seasons I've already had seen. So I could have definitely like put my subtitles or even my, audio in Spanish. And so I didn't even like think about that. So then when I saw that, then I started doing it. I'm like, well, here I am. I'm crushing like two things at once. Like I'm watching my show, I'm reading in Spanish, actually I did switch it into like audio and subtitles in Spanish. That was a little uncomfortable because I didn't know what was going on. So I ended up just doing the subtitles in Spanish and then it was English. But that was just so that way I could just like practice reading in Spanish. So that was cool. And I was like, so now that's like my goal, like to do is just to put my subtitles in Spanish so I can at least get the reading practice. So yeah, so eventually my goal is to be able to have my audio and my subtitles in Spanish, because in order for there to be growth with this language, especially as intermediate as I am, I know a lot, but I can't always communicate what I know. So in order to get anywhere with this language, I'm going to have to make myself uncomfortable and listen to more things in Spanish and subtitles being in Spanish as well. So guys, the intermediate struggle is real. It can truly be a sinkhole, and don't get stuck there because I know I won't. And I'm going to do my best to continue with my subscription for Pimsleur because it is costing me money every month. But it's also beneficial, but I'm going to continue with it. And also utilize my other apps before I do anything else. For me, there's no excuse of why I'm in the sinkhole. So I'm not going to stay there. I'm getting out. I'm jumping out and I'm ready to get to that part where I am conversationally fluent in at least one of the languages that I've started the longest, which is Spanish. So So yeah, so check out my other videos. I know personally I'm going to check those videos out too to motivate myself. I have a language learning playlist that I will link in this video. It'll be up above, or I'll also put some links to some other videos that I have pertaining to languages. And then yeah, I'll see you next time.